have returned. I am your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. This is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Here with Deborah Schreiner, Jim Leahy, and we're here to answer your questions. And not this segment, though. That's a different segment. This segment, we're going to talk about the blog.
It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog.
Well, attorney Stephen Leahy, it's the blog segment, and we do it live because we record Friday show, whereas Sunday we do a live video feed every Friday afternoon. So for those who were tuning in, they were able to see that we were talking about several different options for the blog report. So I think the best thing we could do is talk about all of it, kind of touch base on every one of them. One of the main things I wanted you to mention is what's going on with October 15th. That's coming up.
Oh, okay. October 15th is the deadline for filing your tax returns when you ask for an extension, right? If you didn't ask for an extension, then it doesn't really
that means
matter.
I pay by then, right?
Yeah. No, obviously, right? You have to pay in April. And when you ask for an extension, I can't, a lot of people who come to see me haven't filed tax returns for some time. Sometimes 10 years, sometimes more. Basically, it's usually 4 or 5 years. What happens is they fall behind with their taxes. They owe the IRS money, and then they just stop filing their tax returns. They think that they can hide from the IRS by not filing a tax return. And you're just making the problem worse. Okay, because what happens is they start coming after you, and if they get a levy against you, this has happened in my office this week. Gentleman they hired me last week. A levy was placed against him. He hasn't filed his tax return in 4 years. But I can't stop the levy until we get you in compliance. And compliance means filing your tax returns, all the back tax returns. So if you have 4 years of tax returns and you haven't done them for a while, well, I can't do them in one day because you're not going to give me the information and we have to do the tax returns. Only then can I stop the levy against you. So it really complicates things if you don't file your tax returns. So if you have unfiled tax returns, now as I was saying, people who haven't filed in a long time, so many of them come to me and they say, well, I file an extension every year. Well, the extension only extends it till October 15th. And if you don't file by then the extension doesn't do you any good. Another thing, if the IRS owes you money, well, then the extension doesn't matter either because then you won't get a late penalty because they owe you money. And the penalty is based on how much you owe them. So the more money I owe them, the bigger the penalty. But if they owe me, well, then and I don't file on time, they don't care if you don't file on time because they owe you money. So that's the way that works. And that's important because I think a lot of people panic at the end. I haven't filed my tax return.
We were also talking about, too, a lot in your office. I don't mean to change gears here, but I'm going to a lot. And you've been seeing in your office is a lot of Chapter 13s recently as well. If you want to just touch a bit on that for the blog report.
Okay, so the last couple of Chapter 13s I've had they come in as foreclosure cases. So people come to me because they find my stuff on the internet from the blog that I've talked a lot about foreclosures.
I'm on that stuff.
And deficiency. Yes, that's true. But the blog is written, so you're not on that stuff. But
not the video, which you can see on ChicagoTaxTeam.com, which is going to be your hub to fight the IRS.
That's true. And on ChicagoTaxTeam.com, I have my written blogs, too, where I talk about this stuff.
But we talk about this on the show, too. That's where you can access it.
That's right. And that's where the blog comes from because I write something about it, then we talk about it on the show. And I have written a lot about deficiency judgments and foreclosures. And so when people get to the end, they start looking for answers, and my name comes up, and they call me. And so again, the last couple of Chapter 13s came up as foreclosure cases because they come to me to help them with a foreclosure, but it's too late. So maybe the house is already up for sale next week, and this has happened twice in the last 2 weeks. That they come to see me, and I have to file a bankruptcy case for them like tomorrow. After they see me one day, we got to file in the next couple of days because your sale on your house is next week, and if they sell the house, then you can't file Chapter 13 to stop it. Okay, so it's so important that if this stuff is happening to you, to get in front of it. Don't wait till the end, like we just were talking about tax returns, and that people procrastinate. Okay, and so don't procrastinate. Go out, try to. But a lot of times, what happens is that people try to they go to another attorney, and there's another good example because I just had a guy who hired another tax outfit, and he paid them a lot of money, and they haven't helped them. right? And so now, they start levying his wages, and this is because this other outfit didn't help him, and there's little I can do.
I'm sure you know what it's kind of like
to stop those. Again, they're levying this guy's wages, and I said, well, and I hate to ask you, but how are you going to hire a lawyer if you don't have any money?
Exactly.
And well, I don't know. So you're going to ask me. You're going to ask a lawyer.
That's why we're going to talk later in the show about this too, because I have kind of the same thing happen as well.
Yeah. So again, you have to don't procrastinate. If it's happening to you, give me a call. I encourage people to call me. Sometimes I can help you. Sometimes I can't.
312-664-6649.
If I can't help you. If I cannot help you, I'll tell you that. Or maybe I can direct you to someone that can help you.
Well, let's just change gears one more time here, too. And you're talking about serving justice for everybody. Am I correct?
Oh, okay. Now
go a little bit on it, and let's just
because this has to go with this Kavanaugh thing. And I think that the attack on Kavanaugh is not so much an attack on him. It's an attack on our system of government. Okay, and the Senate, and through the Senate, the Electoral College,
our republic,
and our republic through that our Constitution.
It's not perfect.
So it's
not a perfect system, but
it's the best system devised by man. There is no better system.
I happen to agree with you.
Okay, so no, it's not perfect. Nothing from man is perfect, but it is the best Constitution in the world. Ever conceived in the world,
that is true.
It is true, and so and that's why it's worth fighting for. Can it be improved? We have improved it. The 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment. We've done this. We've gone back and changed the Constitution. There's a way to do it. If you don't agree with the Electoral College, bring it before people and try to change it. To me, the Electoral College is the centerpiece of our Constitution. And without the Electoral College, we don't have a republic. And then it's all mob rule. And this is what we're going to get, like we had with Kavanaugh. Them people, whoever can be the loudest and the most violent is going to win because everybody else is afraid. Okay, and that's not a way to run anything, a country, a company, or anything. And it's certainly not the way to run our government. And that's where we are. Like I said, we talked about Flake and getting Senator Flake was corralled in, and they set that up. I don't know if you know this, but they had,
of course they said stop it. You think people snuck past security?
Of course they set it up, and this woman was on MSNBC talking about how her and her friend got together and planned how they were going to attack and what she should say to him, and how to go about it. And so, this is where the problem arises. And if we don't have the Electoral College, this is what's going to pass as a government, and we can't have that's why pure democracies don't work, and that's why we don't have a pure democracy, because they don't work. And we can go on and on about the Electoral College and the Senate and why the Senate is racist or not fair is what they start with. Not fair. It's just not fair the way this happens. It's not fair that Wyoming has the same amount of votes as New York or California or all of this. It's just not fair.
Guy.
Well, of course, that's what makes it fair. But again, that's the attack on our government and the attack on our Constitution.
Yes. Here.
It's the attack.
And I just want to cut you off here again. Let's just reevaluate what we talked about. And again, you can see this on YouTube. You can go on to ChicagoTaxTeam.com. You get a written blog report. We did a little something different today because there's just so much going on that we wanted to touch base about. And I thought it was very important for Attorney Stephen Leahy to talk about those three things. Again, remember, if you are in Chapter 13, if you haven't filed your tax returns, I only recommend one person. That's Attorney Stephen Leahy, 312-664-6649 with OPM Tax Resolutions. Again, 312-664-6649. You're going to get the phone number one more time. But before we do, we're running out of time. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, let's start thinking about tomorrow, today. And I'm Jim Leahy with That Properties. And, I want you to give me a call, 847-271-3695. Attorney Stephen Leahy, thank you so much for your blog report.
Blog.
I know we ended it a little different today, but sometimes different is good. And you know what's different is we have the conspiracy theory segment coming up next, which is for October. Spooky here on AM 560 The Answer. But remember, Open Tax Resolutions there for you. 312-664-6649 or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to help fight the IRS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Listen to our sponsors. Come right back here on AM 560 The Answer.